My first thing is win a pistol round. They did not win a pistol round in that first map. They only won 1 pistol round out of 6 the last time they played Shopify and lost to them. Second thing is off of that, get Starbound their op early. It gives you so many more options for your macro on this map when you can just have Starbound on a forward line with that operator. And number 3 is lock in when they're playing with advantages. They led SR with first kills in map number 1, but they let so many advantage rounds slip to the Shopify individualism. And of course, all of that has to start here on the pistol round as they get an embed down C long to begin.
I mean, that'll be nice, getting that forward information, but we'll see if they can actually turn that into a round win. Starbound got the opener back on Pearl. This time there's 3 players about to face them. So a quick teleport off the site will mean this B site is relatively open, Mimi.
Yeah, going to be a full retake here for WADADAA, but they keep pretty good control over towards the links. Biggest player I'm looking at still is what Juna can do. Looking into a late lurk here.
Juna pushing over towards Anoya, who's also waiting back in spawn. I mean, WADADAA are certainly taking their time with things thus far. I think they were wondering where Anoya was, maybe trying to clear away a late lurk towards A. But what it's meant is the first 10, 15 seconds of this post plant is gone. And now they're walking into the crossfire. Again, Shopify Rebellion just torch WADADAA in this pistol. Starbound is just stuck up, shoulder on the wall. And the opener, once more, goes to Shopify.
So, unfortunately, last 2 times they've played Shopify, they're 1 for 9 on the pistol rounds, losing another one there. But
grim.
for SR, this is something they did good in the last map as well. But they really have great ideas of how to use utility in the post plant. As soon as that take started to come in, there was an aftershock towards C-Link and a stun towards A-Link that were both timed in such a way that the WADADAA players retaking got split off by that util and just absolutely cooked by the crossfires in sight. Very well set up on B.
So now if, we take a moment here looking at the rest of this half. We saw so consistently back on Pearl Mimi that Shopify were able to get on sites, ran a lot of full execs to be honest, and set up nicely in the post plant.
She just stunned herself.
You know what? It's not always the cleanest, but it gets the job done. I'm just wondering what WADADAA can change from how they're calling these rounds to stop giving things up so easily to Shopify.
Yeah, they on both maps now, it has felt like Shopify is just cutting into these sites really easily. WADADAA's ended up playing a lot of retake.
I mean, again,
and I think a big part of that has been Noya's lurks. Yeah. Just working her way in behind. Easy round to wrap up.
So do WADADAA just need to hold on to sites stronger? Do they need to look for more aggressive angles? Do they just need to clean things up on the actual retakes themselves?
I think 2 things. Number 1, I've mentioned it a million times already, but I want to see Starbound try and get it on. They won't have it this round, but soon. Because that lets you get them on a forward line A, get on a forward line C, and when you have that, you can bunker these other sites. I think there have been a lot of rounds where they have solo Vise on one site, and that Vise player has been, on the first map, hit by a KO knife, or here, just ran over by the Neon, and ends up dying. I want to see more setups where the Vise has help. And you do see that here, where she's going to be positioned also with Power Pixel on C to have a little better stall util.
Yeah, both sent to util the trip in the wall in B and garage, so it allows WADADAA to creep forward into the A space. I like this. It does mean that B is open, but on a 3-site map, you're going to have to leave some gaps somewhere. We'll see, though, because Power Pixel has an opportunity to sneak into back site if they want to, choosing not to this time around, and instead allowing those 2 players to cook on the flank.
It's going to be a really fast flank, but Noya is in a super weird position where she could actually end up backstabbing these players' window.
Talk about weird positions. Sarah is on that side of the opening onto site.
Yeah, gets 2.
Okay, just instantly destroys this round. This is exactly what happened on Pearl. Shopify win pistol, win round 2, convert the bonus. And there's just so much left for Juna and Starbound, who are completely isolated. At this point, even saving
look where
seems
Juna
like a challenge.
She's sitting in a smoke in spawn because there's no way back into this round whatsoever. They're saving against the bonus, it's brutal. And Chrissy, I feel like they did everything we kind of asked in that round. Had more of a bunker set up on C together with the Sentinels. Got forward info over towards A. Even had a really nice reflank to go in with that retake. But then Sarah's on an off angle and kills both of them with a Bulldog, and the entire round falls apart.
Just a bit of a disaster there. Seems like Shopify were aware because of not running into anything on the B site. It's like, okay, well, maybe it is just a little bit more obvious that it's a creep up into A. And even again, like you were saying during the round, if Sarah doesn't find these kills, Noya's still going to be a problem.
Yep.
It's a bit grim. Although Starbound this round will go for the hero rifle instead of saving for the op, Mimi. How do you feel about that?
Well, that's what they saved from the previous round, right? Kept those two guns.
Right.
So just forcing up some like lighter weapons around that, but despite that, they're still probably not going to have op money for round 5 because of the save.
Still going for that creep into mid. I appreciate you not calling me a fraud, even though you had every right to, Mimi.
Yeah, I wouldn't dare to think it.
Now the question is, can they find anything? As these players of Shopify creep back towards A, I think WADADAA are maybe a little bit hesitant after the last round getting burned on the flank, knowing that there's probably a Cypher trip they're going to run into, all these things. Doesn't mean that Astralis is just hopelessly alone up towards heaven right now. Maybe some chances to get some spam, but while you're getting stunned, I think that is a little bit more of a dream than it is going to be a reality.
Yeah, normally Shopify does a pretty good job of breaking darts.
And they're fully aware of the flank coming online as well. Trip was already broken. There's a camera for Noya to check as well, if she wants to. You've been dodging away up from a lot of that utility.
Okay.
Not dodging away from the shots of Starbound. Oh, that is not good. Sarah will get out of dodge.
The
Still
stinger.
not a huge problem, although in a 3-on-5 it could start to become one. And no, Sarah's going to find 2 kills, just as WADADAA think they might have a chance. Shopify Rebellion, keep it clean. Unless they don't. They do.
Okay. Good overview of the round, thank you. Yeah, that one got a little dicey. Sarah's whiff on the flank there. Almost got the better of him, but she has the redemption
reminded
arc.
me of the last series against WADADAA, where all of these rounds, like, Shopify shouldn't be able to lose.
It was like a 4v2 and they almost lost.
Exactly. It becomes losable, but they still win it, you know? That was kind of the mantra.
Okay, so 4v2, Starbound probably playing for an orb here, because otherwise they're pretty broke. Shopify know this. They're going to full fight into A lobby and look for a punish.
Starbound needs to get that orb. Here goes Shopify, though. Quickly around the corner. And now the ultimate Hunter's Fury, dealing some damage to Astralis. Trying to dodge away from that. Starbound forced to teleport away as well, but the shots coming in from the supporting staff are there for WADADAA.
Yeah, really impressive that they make it out of that situation. Looked like the perfect setup for Shopify with that stun and the Hunter's Fury. Instead now, it's WADADAA in their first advantage really of this map. Shopify will walk back into A. Sarah tries to get embedded at least on a lurk. There's not a lot of free kills being given here. WADADAA playing this one a little closer than some of their advantages on map 1.
There's even the flash set up in Garage for a little bit of a mid-round clear. If Juno wants to ping that one. And Sarah, because she already used the drone, it's hard to sell a fake onto the A side, so I think these 2 players from Shopify Rebellion going to make a little bit more noise towards Garage, open up a pathway for Sarah now. But again, with a player close on the corner, that'll be Thumbboy taking the kill, and all but guaranteeing this round. That C side's going to be open, but WADADAA have 5 for the retake.
I wouldn't say all but guarantee yet. There is going to be a guaranteed post plan on C. WADADAA would prefer to not have to use any ultimates to make this retake happen, but on a 5-on-2, this one shouldn't slip away unless someone on SR gets forward, maybe catches a kill on an unsuspecting player.
Well, the oldest duo there, Alexis and Mel, trying to find some opportunities on their own, but a fault line is primed and ready. Now the paranoia too. Mel is on the hunt. Players really stunned up back there, but now Alexis loses her IGL, and the 4 players of WADADAA come flooding into the site. The utility is just too much to bear. WADADAA will get their first of Haven.
No 1v5 this time. They shut it down. I like the decision to commit the Yori Wolf there. Don't risk anything. Get your full info. do not lose that round because it was a critical one. And now we get to start to talk about some of the happy implications of that round for WADADAA. Their ults are starting to get around to cycle. Do they have money to get an operator online? They don't, but they're going to be able to use that chamber ultimate as well. So now they get to adjust their macro a little bit, get Starbound on a forward line, play a little heavier with the other players on the other sites. This is a good position to be in as long as they can win this round and actually start to chain something together.
WADADAA going into a 2-1-2 right now. Again, with that sent utility in mid as Nut blasts on through. Can't quite get in front of the stun into this A lobby space. But it seems like WADADAA have already reacted to the noise that DodoNut has made, leaving that forward C line and potentially opening up some gaps here for Shopify to play with.
Another one of these rounds where SR start over towards A, realize this B site is weak, and we'll get yet another free plant. That neon embed could do work in the late rounds.
They're doing it all day. DodoNut on the lurk, she's not so much on Pearl, and now she's slipped past Femboy creeping up into A lobby. No one is ready for this lurk. This is a disaster, and unfortunately for Femboy, their teleport will be heard by Noya. Once it goes all the way deep, no. Heard out. Noya now on the prowl. That's an easy kill, and keep your eyes on DodoNut because Shopify Rebellion are putting on a macro masterclass. Noya taking her time, lining them up, gets flashed off the angle, and now all of a sudden it's just going to get worse and worse. WADADAA trying to stick it through, but with smoke going down, Astralis can't provide cover to her teammate. Shopify Rebellion take another.
And my God, was that a beautiful round in every way from SR. They do their default towards A that they've done so many rounds, but this time, they've gone into B late, but they do it quietly. They've figured out that WADADAA in every round is either putting the chamber trip or the Visol on B, and that's all the util they have front side. And so Mel teleports left side box, so if there's a chamber trip, it won't proc, and even though there's a wall, she gets through, gets the plant, TP's out, and it's a free post. Just so nicely done by the veteran IGL.
Yeah, mid is just a problem from WADADAA. You can see they're trying to change how they're playing it. Maybe Juna takes a more aggressive angle and fights for that space on B. I don't even see... Did Juna not even have money to put down a wall this round?
I don't think so.
Instead going for the full rifle and the light armor. And Alexis is just holding that Rolling Thunder, ready to rip it onto the split up towards ceiling. DodoNut follows it up cleanly with the ultimate, and Starbound is not long for this world. What a play.
It's so nicely done yet again. Back-to-back rounds for Shopify. The chamber just has too much to deal with there. Getting Rolling Thundered on one side, has a Neon running at them, has 4 players running on the other side. Beautiful. And now it's a classic Shopify post-plant. High-low setups, post-plant util. I do not see how WADADAA can get back in.
I mean, they saved so much utility as well. The drill, the paranoia. There was still a stun for the Neon as well. There's all these things. And even though Femboy is going to find a couple of kills, it is not going to amount to much of anything.
And somehow, this round still turns into a Sarah highlight reel right at the end.
Of course it does. Yep, that's our goat right there.
Kills.
10 and 3. I mean, it's kind of gross what Sarah's been doing so far today. You think back on Pearl? She finished that map 21 and 8. Now 10 and 3.
Oh, and what character was she playing? What agent?
Playing the Sova. It seems to be working for her.
Yeah. Cool.
She's just like, yeah, thank you, Riot, for nerfing Tejo. We can just lock in Sova every map.
She's actually the biggest winner of the Tejo nerfs. She just gets to play her main literally every map. And this is just brutal for WADADAA. They're going to be reset onto an eco round here. And the number one problem they have to deal with is how do we play B? Because they still haven't managed to figure it out. In that last round, they adjusted a little bit, don't have the util, just Juna hard holding, but still, Neon Wall goes up, you're straight through that gap in combination with the ult from the breach, and it is just cooked. And honestly, if I'm Shopify, I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking, in this timeout, they're going to change how they play B, and maybe we just, rip a C exec.
Rip the C hit, rip it. Rip one of the sites, either A or C.
Yeah, doesn't matter either way.
Yeah, because I mean, the obvious pivot for WADADAA is they just need like a forward fight in the mid space. So coming out of this round, you probably have Starbound setting up the high teleport we saw on B on like Pistol, for example, or peeking double doors with an op, something like
And
this.
guess what, Christy? They've set up 3 on B.
Shocker.
They have no C players, and SR's gonna rip at C.
Yep. Well, unfortunate for WADADAA, just getting read like an absolute book.
Wait, Power Pixel is here. They have a Soul
Right,
Astro.
yeah,
right?
okay. Look, there's an Astral, there's a Sheriff, there's so much to play with.
Wow.
No, unfortunately, I fear that the brain trust of Effie's
And they are
Mel
just
have,
contacting into this too. This is so brutal.
they have figured them out completely. Flying into backside, Dodo Nut. Okay, well, hold on. We besmirched Power
There's one
Pixel.
kill.
It's still a 1-for-1. Be no more smirching in this round. And unfortunately for WADADAA, Shopify just get to full leave the site. There's no smokes alive, so we get to play post down long.
And Noya, every round just full sits in spawn for a minute, and then confirms around with a late round lurk. Here she goes. Spots one over towards mid, and is now going to work back in super late here.
It's so sweaty on an anti-eco, but this is why we love Shopify Rebellion. They just play so well, so by the book. It just makes it look so simple, so easy. And by all accounts it is. You know, Starbound gets a few, but at the end of the day, Shopify Rebellion are just a step above.
And not to continue on with your besmirching, but last time we saw this series in the upper finals, I don't think Shopify looked quite this dialed in the way that they were playing. Like we talked about, some of those rounds were slipping away. They were letting some of the WADADAA individuals get... It was a little sloppy. Not sloppy by, like, anyone's standards, but by Shopify standards, it was definitely a little bit sloppy. Today, it has been, by and large, clean. I mean, you said it. They are sweating this hard on an anti-eco round. They want to stomp this finals and be done by, like, 7 o'clock.
I got dinner reservations already. But WADADAA, I mean, this is kind of the round to do it. Huge swing round, buying down to nothing. Starbound op posted on sewers. And WADADAA changing up B. They're doing a quiet 2-stack on that angle, afforded to them because of that forward line that Starbound has over on A. And this could be big. Femboy could get a kill, teleport away. And right now, the Shock Dart didn't quite find the trip either, so that would even bait players to looking towards the right side when they try to swing in.
But they're not committing into B. Dart goes late into Garage. They're threatening a late hit C, but it's actually going to be back into A. So this round all comes down to Starbound and what they can do with the
drone was saved. The drone will see Starbound, has to break that one. Chooses not to teleport away, but there's a stun following it as well. Again, the utility is always going to be there, and this baits players into A while Noya has crept into C. Instantly, Mel calls the rotates over. Power Pixel can hear the players coming in, but is in no position to actually fight over the space. Shopify Rebellion have gotten themselves another post plant, it seems, or maybe even a fight up into Garage window. Sarah is here, and Sarah goes 1-for-1. Taking down the smokes on the other side, although this time, instead of playing off-site, Shopify Rebellion gear up for a fight towards spawn.
All of them are sitting in the smoke. Yorwalt sees nothing, but Starbound trying to fight back. It's only one. And now Shopify have broken out of the encirclement and won the round. Every reaction there was impeccable from Shopify.
So good.
They fight back into A, call into their lurk. Okay, we're getting Yorwalted. They're pushing Garage instantly into the smoke, all on the same page the whole way down. It's impeccable.
And I love the layer too that last round, when they got the single kill against the Astra, there's no smokes, you play long. You play those deep lines because you can't get smoked off and full stuck against. And this time, they instantly pivot to that fight forward. It is just so good from this team, every layer they add on.
And guess what? WADADAA is broke yet again.
Brutal. This is Shopify Rebellion playing at their peak. This is the team that just refuses to lose. Doesn't matter if it's in North America, doesn't matter if it's GC champs. Always looking just better than the rest of the field.
Yes, they are. And remember, this is the year where they chose to literally not even play the first game changes. They said, nah, kickoff's not worth it. We're focusing on challengers. We're not getting points for champs. We don't want to be there. WADADAA got the win in that game, but they come back in stage 1 to show, hey, there is a tier gap here, and they're trying to prove it in this game.
Paranoia comes out. Astralis has found the first, but again, WADADAA playing around at this high angle, calls in the swing from her teammate, lining them up 3 for Dodo. And that doesn't remove Sarah from being a problem again. All of a sudden, though, Astralis has button one-on-one. Astralis with 4 on the eco. Okay, WADADAA are in.
Alrighty. Well, WADADAA, you love to see them coming alive a little bit here. Red Bull clutch out of Astralis. SRG get overwhelmed in that post plant. And the individualism comes through. I love the way that they played that there. Just tucking in on one side of the box, gets the first pick, switches on to the Sheriff. Just a clean shot there. Proving this team is no slouch either.
Oh yeah. They're patient too, baiting out the paranoia of Mel, not full committing. They've seen it one too many times. And now, Mimi, they've set up 3 ultimates to be able to play with. WADADAA are actually in a reasonably good position to try and bring things closer before the end of the half.
SR go back into a similar setup we've seen before, just starting slow, a little pressure towards A. Now working players into middle area.
Yeah, it's been long enough.
Femboy on this tight line.
I think Mel's ready to see what the pivot is on this B site. Shopify Rebellion have yet to actually figure out that Femboy is playing on that line.
That's been the adaptation to stop that Mel teleport plant that we saw a couple rounds earlier in the half.
Cute. Little dart into garage, smoke in, and breaking that trip actually threatens the step up into garage window.
They want to re-clear back towards A long, I think. Send a couple players back that way.
Trying to pull some rotates, not expecting someone to be up in window because of how lightly WADADAA have played in mid previously.
In doing so, Femboy's second gate crash has just timed out. So to leave this angle, they will have to cross up in front of Noya. A chance for an engagement there on the lurk.
Oh, Mel doesn't want to go into A. Gonna try and sell a fake here with Alexis and Dodo into the site. Of course, Mel doesn't have the ultimate to quick rotate over, but is going off the information that Noya has here. No kill is bad news for Shopify, who wanted to pivot back into B, and there is still a wall in front of them. They need to go through this together. The spike can't get stuck. They make it on in, but Femboy is here. 1-for-1 initially, but with only 12 seconds left on the clock. Mel is trying to teleport out. Now the spike is left on the ground. No one can recover it. WADADAA have waited out Shopify Rebellion and won this round.
Mel got too fancy in this round, tries to call that last second pivot into B, but it all comes down to not getting that pick onto Femboy. Dancing out of that corner, being left alive, and then winning out on that fight towards front B. Alrighty, we got something cooking for WADADAA now. We were talking a lot about Shopify, but if they get 4 rounds here, and big if, they can actually win a pistol round, there is still a world for them to come back into this map.
Put themselves within 4, at the very least. And now another option for WADADAA in mid. Starbound has the op top B. No one's going to be here this time around. Instead, Mel trying to call the team to work up onto C into what is the weaker side of the map for WADADAA currently.
But they still have some util bunkered here. With the double thorns and... yeah, trying to at least break that tripwire, threaten a future flank. Mel just sits and waits, lets the shot go through.
Yeah, definitely going to want to call Sarah into using that drone, probably a flash as well, to get back into the area. Good news for WADADAA is they've already cleared out of the space. So no concern for them.
But WADADAA is going to feel great about that exchange, right? They break the trip, the drone is gone, they're even droning up short, but it's not going to get any info. They don't know how many are coming down long.
Exactly. The drone almost feels a little bit wasted. Players could even be in that smoke and ready to pop on site, and that's exactly what Shopify are going to gear up to do. Rolling Thunder comes on out. Femboy has to teleport away, and Donut flying into the back site. WADADAA have 5 alive, but no one on site. It'll be a full retake for them.
Shopify are going to have to play a full on-site post plant here up against that Astra Cosmic Divide, but they're very well positioned. This off angle for Mel could be great.
It's so gross. Seeing over the top of default, a really difficult angle to clear away, and even if you do, Dodo can swing around the other side. Wall is also something that Mel can try to peek back in front of and play on top of. Femboy dropping into hell. Beautiful shot out of them, but there's still the back line of Shopify. Mel now teleports into hell. And now with the dart to come through, Shopify ready to swing. Power Pixel falls. Another one drops, and WADADAA still trying to get somewhere back onto the site. Astralis has been locked in and so good, but it's back to a one-on-one. Starbound can't do it. Shopify Rebellion and Noya take their nut.
They just did not have time. Even if they kill Noya in that 2v1, it's already over. And that wraps it up 9-3 for Shopify. One thing that Shopify did great in that half was having incredible discipline on what util they were using on these actual executes. In most rounds, it was only the stun and the dart to take sites. They almost always had paranoia and stun late rounds. And those two pieces of utility bought so much time in that post plant to win out in the end for Shopify.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of the time Alexis or Mel will have a paranoia or a flash in hand and wait until their drone or something gets information before popping it. So they're always ready, but not necessarily always using it. But Mimi, this is where we must see WADADAA come away with the pistol. 0 for 3 so far today. It's really their only chance, it seems.
Certainly is. Very slow start. It's the exact same comp you saw back on Pearl. Expect them to play in a similar way. They are going into an execute now, but there's a lot of players here for Shopify.
Yep, Shopify are ready to pounce on these players flooding into C. There you have it. Dodonut gets the first, and Power Pixel turns around 5 HP, but another blind. The utility is just overwhelming. WADADAA now inching their way back onto the site, but the smokes have gone down. That means there's absolutely no cover for them. But with Noya and Sarah and the rest of Shopify on the way, it's just not going to happen.
Mel instantly puts down that anchor smoke on C, and her and those other anchors over towards that site do such a great job of playing around that smoke to perfection. Ping-ponging up, at times jumping over onto the box, swinging around left side, and just pestering those players close in, completely segment out that hit. Buy time for the rotates to come in. It's just a beauty of a C flood.
Yeah, those on-site smokes, all the utility, it's rough. It's hard, too, because it felt like all their Cypher util was spread around the rest of the map. They'd have very good information regardless.
Yeah, and by the way, Juna's using Thorns towards CT on that execute, but unfortunately, the player swinging through the smoke is Dodo in Garage, who's unfettered by that and gets her kill.
And there are already 2 players backside as well, so it's not even like the Thorns are stopping players from being there. Shopify Rebellion have just been a step ahead on the macro.
We were talking about this during the break, but Neon seems to be the vibe for Shopify. Second map this series, we've been seeing a lot of it throughout this tournament, but that seems to be their answer out of the Teo meta disappearing to play into this agent a ton. And I think it's especially strong against a team like WADADAA, who has slow attack sides, who's always playing chamber, because you get fast retakes, fast floods, and fast rotates. And notice we're doing all of that is, again, that stun is just going to completely cancel out a hit from WADADAA.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a breach stun into a breach blast into a neon stun, just one after another. Now, while that did go down, Starbound was able to pick up the kill against Sarah. That removes all of the mid-round scouting, so very hard for Shopify to have a read of what WADADAA want to do, although they haven't really flinched from their positions here. And now with Alexis seeing the one, and only 25 seconds left on the clock, even with a numbers advantage, this one is not going to be easy for WADADAA. Got to get through this smoke first, got to get through Dodo Nut second, and something tells me that's going to be hard, but Paranoid isn't able to secure any more kills, but again, the clock is winding down. Mel is still left on this site. It's not going to be there. A 4-piece for the IGL.
WADADAA almost got something going there, getting the opening pick, getting a couple kills with the classics through the smoke, but again, Shopify just hold on tight well, balance out their utility. You said it, just every piece of util perfectly timed to stop this execute. And with those 2 Cypher tripwires in mid and garage never broken, there was no way Shopify was leaving that site.
Shopify Rebellion doing something interesting here, not going up on the bonus at all. Spending next to no money.
They are up 11-1. This is where you just take no risks, get all of your ults online, get all your guns online, and just wait for the round you know you're going to win.
100%. Can really start to simplify it. Go for a stack, fight play over towards A like this. That's no problem. If you flip a coin, it comes up heads, you just win the round, the game's over. If not, you can still try your odds, picking off guns on the way out in a post plant. Because any single kill Shopify Rebellion is going to be finding this round is going to be brutal.
2 rounds now where Shopify have shown these 1-4 stacks with just the Cypher util holding down towards mid. And I think this is a read around how WADADAA play, because this team is so slow. They are almost always taking their time walking. They spend so much time before they're actually going and breaking these trips, and that gives tons of space for SR to get walked up into angles towards A or here in B like Sarah is with the Sheriff.
Well, WADADAA trying to sell a B fake, but it's a 3-stack in the A space. Stun, paranoia. Oh, you thought for a moment that it's happening. It's happening. A 2-on-1 now. Power Pixel down to 26 HP. And they've been boxed in as well with Sarah on the flank, Noya, Guardian in hand. It's happening again, Mimi. Shopify Rebellion win the bonus. It's just so lopsided.
4 pistol rounds, 3 bonus rounds won this series. You wind back to Friday, they won 5 out of 6 pistol rounds in that series. And I know Mel's eyes just lit up seeing the target switch aim lab scenario when she sees those 3 players blinded in front of her. But yeah, it's just what I was saying, right? Those 2 trips basically never get broken. You have 3 players in a crossfire in a lobby, and the round is just lost no matter what guns you have.
It just looks like Mel can see exactly where WADADAA are at all times. A perfect read. But Power Pixel is going to find that opener. Dodonut, the only player left on site. WADADAA have just forced their way in here. That's no problem for them.
Yeah, very nice entries there from WADADAA. They have a great post plant now set up, and finally we get to see one of the big strengths of this comp. Throw down some of those thorns in the post plant, get your chamber posted up deep. No matter the numbers, it's really tough to retake into this WADADAA team.
Boys, a little aggressive. Stinger, someone's playing right up inside of the smoke. Shopify are certainly taking their time at the moment. Know about the possibility. One is going to be able to secure that one, but like you're saying, Starbound up on those forward lines. The teleports of the Urine Chamber so annoying to deal with in the post plant. And that clock is winding down. Shopify just playing for the guns here and getting quite a few. It's not going to be too bad for them.
Yeah, a couple more orbs for Alexis's breach ult as well. They're up 12-4. They're chilling. Buy some time to get those ults online, but
now is where you're like, okay, don't rip the ultimate until we have 5 of them, or if it guarantee wins you the round. If you ult and we lose, you're on timeout.
Yeah, Effie's just gonna have a word after this map if that doesn't end up happening.
1 enemy remaining. Last player standing.
Kind of shocked by how his hair grew back in so quickly, and he looks exactly the same as he did before after getting shaved at Spotlight. That was kind of a non sequitur for 4-12 in the grand finals, but anyways.
You know what? I non sequitur. I hardly. Anyways, Shopify Rebellion have lost to Noya immediately into the round.
You want to play?
As I sequit ourselves back into things.
Thank you. We needed to be sequited.
Yeah. Indubitably. Anyways, WADADAA, they've seemingly walking into a 3-stack on the B site. Now, Sarah is using the Hunter's Fury. Effie is putting her on timeout, I think, because not only did it not win the round, it only tagged 1 player. If anything, it's just pushed WADADAA into an open C site.
And that's exactly where they're ending. So it's a repeat of the last round. Guess what? Both our teleport agents are alive. Where are they going to be? Super far forward in this post plant. Everyone else can hang back, play off that utility. But even in a player-up scenario, there is still some danger to this one. Shopify, they've won a lot of 4v5s today.
Oh, first shot baited out by Alexis. Now Shopify Rebellion gear themselves up to get back onto the site. A chance to just go 2-0 up here in the grand final, but it's not going to happen with this forward hold. Great play out of Juna and Femboy. Dodonut just going to scamper away with that operator in hand.
Bye-bye, Dodo. WADADAA, great slow round from them. Put a little pressure over towards B and make the right timing on that pivot late into the C site. Shopify, yeah, I think Sarah is going to get a word from that Sova ult because didn't really end up having any impact on this round.
Still 7 left to go. Shopify do look like they're going to go for a save here, just holding on to the ops from last round. Again, just trying to wait this out, make sure they've got the exact right situation. It's very deflating type of game, right? Because the whole time Shopify, they just feel like they're completely in the driver's seat. Even now, as they're put onto a couple of ecos, little half buys, things like this, they're only doing it because they know they have so much buffer to play with.
Surely they wouldn't win a round with the sheriffs, right?
Oh no, that's exactly when they win the round. See, a lot of people think that this is just an intelligent thing to do when you don't buy to, build up your econ. You have at least, 4 or 5 rounds.
No, it's actually to win on the sheriff round.
Exactly. There's something that changes. I don't know if it changes in the player with the sheriff in hand or it changes in the player
that's
looking
actually
at the sheriff.
A real thing of more games ending on eco rounds, or is it like image of playing with a bunch of holes in it coming back safely?
No.
What is it called?
It's
Survivorship bias?
I have been on both sides of that as well, Mimi. I've been in the thick of it. I know that this is real. It's not a myth. Although a 4v5, you'd say that,
It's not real.
It's not real. But sometimes that's when it becomes the most real, and that's kind of alarming. That's an early stun. Especially sending 4 on the flank.
I wonder if it's trying to fake that they were going to go for a push short spawn, get that
because
util
look at the
out, act
smoke
like they
on
got
site
stalled.
too.
Yeah, and then go for this full flank play. Unfortunately, there's a wall, and they're getting watched here.
Do we feel like it's overkill to have the wall and the trip and the operator posted up?
No.
No?
Clearly not.
It's just enough kill.
Yes. Just the right amount to deal with the situation ahead of them.
I mean, honestly, if I'm WADADAA, I'm taking every kill I can get at this point. That appears to be the case. There we go. Straw's getting a few on the way out.
Flawless round. We love to see it.
We do love to see it.
We successfully talked our way out of any sheriff shenanigans.
Now, imagine the society if, this is where Effie's comes in. It's like, and I was just about to say this, but this is what Effie's saying. He's like, imagine society if Sarah had her ult this round.
You think that's what he's saying right now?
I think that's what he's
saying. Then we can do like a fight down C long or A long or something, like combine it with the neon ult and then make something, or we could just win a retake with it. Yeah, that would be interesting.
That would be interesting. I mean, okay, so things that Effie's is definitely going to be talking about. First of all, they just know that Starbound has an operator in hand, so these contact walk plays probably less likely. But honestly, I just feel like Shopify probably just come in this with a read of what WADADAA are doing. Like every other timeout, it's been like Shopify can just
it was
see WADADAA
crazy
through
in the
walls.
first half. Some of the reads they were coming up with, the one timeout that WADADAA called, instantly it was that C hit that they ripped. Absolutely nobody home. For WADADAA, honestly, they could try and do something a bit quicker in this round. They do have their own Hunter's Fury, and of course have those TPs for Femboy to get in, look for something over towards C. But with Dodo having an op on her own, I think both teams, it's going to be kind of figure out where the opponent's operator is, trying to push them off a line and figure things out just a little bit. That's almost always how WADADAA likes to play these attack sides.
What's the read going to be out of Shopify coming through here? I mean, this looks like a pretty standard antique Haven setup.
This is the most standard Haven I've ever seen.
I'm pretty sure this is like back in vogue, you go to a thrift store, you can find this setup. Femboy can teleport into double doors. We'll just break that one and not tempt fate too much more than that, maybe.
Yeah, interesting change to the setup for SR. They're putting the trips over towards Garage and C and actually putting some players to hard hold B. I think they expected a faster B hit out of this timeout. Doesn't happen just yet.
WADADAA did just fire an op shot at a drone that was going into A-Link. WADADAA aren't going to be dealing with that, but they are walking into a couple of duo setups from Shopify Rebellion. Alexis and Sarah over towards Link, now with the drone into mid-season operator. I think saw the buys too. So it's forced to accelerate now into Garage. Mel, the first one secured, and now a paranoia. WADADAA cannot continue running into this space.
Look at that cross-map support coming in from Alexis. She was back B site, sends an aftershock in front of door to stop anyone from swinging in and trading onto Mel. That was lovely.
It's getting desperate. 30 seconds on the clock. WADADAA lose this. You go down 0-2. Good luck with a reverse sweep. We're down to 25 seconds. Where is the spike going, Mimi? WADADAA have no control over C-Long. They have no control over backside. See, we're down under 20 seconds. Critical moments for the WADADAA squad. Now knowing they've been spotted out. Position revealed. C long secured by Power Pixel, but Mel is here. Spike taken out. More players continue to come in from Shopify Rebellion. Blow out the candle. Shopify Rebellion take Haven.